Hi everybody, I am back, and in this video I'm going to focus on service learning, field experience, and a semester paperwork, and if there's time we will dive into literature study number 3 and wrap up any loose ends for the semester. Okay, so hope you are all wrapping up your service learning or field experience. And this is the time in the semester where things should be underway and definitely on their way to completion. This link here, this box, is where you will submit the end of the semester paperwork. So I'm going to work backwards here and tell you what you need to submit, and then we will go over the field experience, reflection log, and book card just to make sure I've answered all questions. So no matter what you have turned, or no matter if you are doing service learning or field experience in a workplace or volunteer setting, or if you chose option C and you are working with a child in your life sharing the joy of reading, you need to submit. So if you are currently in service learning sites, or you have work placement, so if you have completed option A or B, you will need to submit the service learning contact log if it's part of service learning, or option B, the work placement contact log and workplace documentation or field experience completion log. This is only for people who have completed option A or B. If you have completed option C, you do not need to submit number 1, but you do need to submit your service learning field experience reflection log and your service learning field experience book card. So to be clear, option A and B need to submit number 1, 2, and 3. If you are option C, you only need to submit 2 and 3. If you completed service learning, then you will receive the Mesa MCC Center for Community of Civic Engagement award that awards you with your service learning hours. If you completed work placement or option A, B, or C, then you will not complete that certification. So that's only if you did the service learning. Okay, so now we're going to work backwards because let's take a look at what these various forms are. We need to jump over to the service learning field experience module. Because option A, B, and C all need to complete the field experience reflection log and book card template, I am going to go over that. If you are in service learning or field experience, please make sure that you have completed the required forms for both option A and B. I won't go over that because that is specific to your service learning and field experience workplace. But so for right now, let's take a look at the reflection log. This is what everybody needs to be completing. And we're going to open it here. And we're going to make a copy. So whether you are in service learning, workplace placement, or doing option C, which is sharing the joy of reading with a child in your life, everyone needs to complete the reflection journal. And in this journal, it's just documenting the time in which you met with the child or in the classroom or the group of children, and a quick summary of what happened. So a summary of observations and participation. What did you see and do during that hour? You want to include titles of books that you read and any kind of strategies that you engaged with the child or group. So when you introduced the book, did you talk about the book at all? Did you try to engage the children to help make a personal connection? Did you talk about the front cover, ask them any questions? Just what kind of strategies did you do throughout? What kind of conversations were had? Did you have any squirrely children who are having a hard time focusing? If so, what did you do to help that situation? It doesn't have to be long, just a quick paragraph, a reflection of what you did during that time. And then what went well, you think, that first time? What could have gone better? What ideas do you like, that you did? What strategies? And what questions or concerns were raised? So say everything went really well, except, you had a hard time keeping their attention. What could you do next time to help engage them? Might you bring a puppet to share to help keep the children engaged? Might you ask them some questions that will help them engage personally and make a personal connection? Might you choose a different place to meet? For example, say you're meeting in their bedroom, but maybe their bedroom is too distracting. So you want to meet in a less distracting place. Maybe you want to meet outside in a nice calm place. So just think about those kinds of questions. As you go forward, these are the same questions repeating throughout. So throughout the 15 hours that you meet with your child or group of children, you will do the same thing. A quick summary of what you did, the books you read, and any strategies that you used to help engage your group. Again, what went well, what could have gone better, and hopefully things start to go well, and we don't necessarily have questions or concerns, but maybe something really cool happened and they're excited for the next time you meet. So if you can't, if there are no questions or concerns, that's fine. You just want to reflect. So you'll want to do this for all of the hours that you meet with your child or group of children. And then that is what you submit. So again, option A, B, or C, you still want to submit this reflection log as your end of the semester paperwork. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to email me right away. Okay, we're going to jump back over to our Field Experience Service Learning module again and take a look at our book card template. Again, everyone needs to complete the book card, whether you are option A, B, or C. So, in your book card, I want you to choose one book that you chose to read with the child or group of children that you met with. If you met with a very young child, the chances are you read multiple books every time you met. Totally fine. I just want you to pick one book out of all the ones that you read that you would like to focus on. If you met with older children and you read a chapter book the whole time, that's fine too. That's just the one book you'll use. So it's fine. You don't need to talk about every book. Just choose one out of the, out of the books that you read if you read multiple. Pick your favorite book, maybe the book the student loved the most, and so on. You're going to write the title of the book, give all of this pertinent information here, a quick synopsis in your own words of the book. I would like you to choose a favorite quote from the book, and then answer the following questions. So as we consider comprehension is making sure that the children understand what's happening in the book. So these are questions that you want to ask the children or the students as they're going through the book to make sure that they understand what's happening in the story, that they're not just listening to words, they're making the connections to the storyline. These questions should have a right answer. Some examples you could ask while reading the book with a student to ensure that they are comprehending the text. So if, for example, say you read Because of Winn-Dixie with your students, you could ask them, okay, so what exactly happened when Opal went into the grocery store? What did she see, right? So you're asking them just a question just to make sure that they listened, just to make sure that they are on the same page. So it should be comprehension questions based on the text. Open-ended, but they're still, not open-ended, I'm sorry, they still need to have a right answer. So those are comprehension questions. You need to put 2 comprehension questions that would be specific for this book. Now, discussion questions are different. These ones are open-ended. They're used to bring about a conversation or a discussion about the book. Usually these questions have the students, you leave room for interpretation for the students. You allow them to make connections, make some personal connections, and come up with ideas based on the text. They may ask, these kinds of questions ask students or prompt students to make connections between their lives and experiences and the text. And these questions allow students to share their opinions and ideas about the text or characters, events, problems. So as we think about Winn-Dixie, maybe we're having a conversation about the fact that Opal really, really wants to keep Winn-Dixie, and she needs to convince her dad that that is what they should do. So have you guys ever wanted to keep a pet, but you needed to convince your parents? Or do you guys have pets at home? And what are the chores that you have to keep up with to have a pet at home? Those kinds of things where they're making a personal connection. It's open-ended. Some people may not have any connection to that question, so think of some diverse ones where everybody should be able to make some kind of connection in their own lives or experiences. So there should be 3 discussion questions that come up that you have created to align with your chosen book. Then you are coming up with a connection activity. So this is very similar to what you are doing in your final project with the books making that curriculum connection. Same idea. You're going to talk about the content area. So content area is it reading? Is it social studies? Is it math? Is it language arts, music, art, whatever. I'm not looking for a standard or anything like that. I'm just looking for a content area. Make a title for the activity. Give me a statement that tells me the objective of the activity. So what will the students be able to do after completing the activity? What should they learn or complete by the time they're done? Any materials that you need for the activity, whether it be glue, scissors, books, magazines, whatever, what have you, right? Glitter. So list all the materials and then give the steps for completing the activity. 1, the students will do this, next this, next this, next that. And all it has to be is just steps for completing the activity, and that is it. So really it's a more in-depth experience, but very similar and connected to what you're doing in your final project. So everybody needs to complete the book card. Everybody needs to complete the reflection log. And these things are going to be submitted in your end of the semester paperwork Dropbox. So where are we? Right here, service learning, field experience, end of semester paperwork. You're going to come in. If you did A or B, you will submit your required paperwork here. And then for A, B, and C people, you will then all submit number 2, the reflection log, and the book card. If you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to email me through Canvas right away, and I will be more than happy to point you in the right direction. I hope you're having a lot of fun sharing the joy of reading with the students or children that you're meeting, and I look forward to reading your reflections and seeing the cool connections that you're making with the literature.